Hey, good evening, my beautiful butterflies and fly guys. Listen, I know you are enjoying this work week, but I know that you're ready to get into tonight's discussion. So without pause, let's get right down to it. So unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen photos and news floating around concerning the new look, I would say, for none other than Blac Chyna. Now, some very interesting things are being alleged concerning the reasons behind this newfound change or this sudden change in the look and of the behavior of Blac Chyna, or AKA Angela White, as she is now moving towards. Now, what are those reasons? First of all, does it have anything to do with fashion? So tonight, listen, I'm going to delve deep into what is being alleged, and you want to be here to catch all of it. All this tea I'm about to drop. Well, we'll see. But I want to talk about this tonight. I want to offer my own commentary, and you really don't want to miss it, as we're going to discuss tonight the real reason behind Blac Chyna's sudden new look. You don't want to miss it. So, without further ado, are you ready, AB? All right, well listen, I want you to go ahead and tell Lottie Dot and everybody that He Spoke Fashion Live is on, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, AB, you ready? Let's get it, hit it. Yeah, in the building.
He spoke fashion. He spoke fashion.
Now listen. Before we go any further, you guys tell me. Tell me in the chat, can you hear me? All right, listen. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the Blac Chyna that many have followed up until now. So we can start with this photo that was from fashion blogger and makeup artist Nandi Imolo. And this was posted on Twitter back in 2017. Wow, now this photo looks like someone totally different if you ask me. Now, what do you think? If I were to tell you that that person was Blac Chyna, would you believe me? Would you believe me if I said that was Blac Chyna? Let's go to another photo. Now this one, although it is an early photo, you can tell this is Blac Chyna. But if AB, if you go back to that first photo, and what I immediately observed about this photo, I immediately observed the things surrounding her, because it is obvious that she is in a beauty salon. Wouldn't you say that it was obvious? Which tells me that she has an affinity and affection towards the beauty industry. So perhaps that was something that she was doing beforehand. And I would say that anyone in the cosmetology business could probably tell you that it is a business that you really must work to build up your clientele. And that means you sometimes become the best promoter of your work. You yourself become your work. You show forth your work. Now, yes, it is great to have people who can show off your work, some of your clientele, but no one can do it, at least in the infancy stage, better than you can. So what is my takeaway from this? It is simply that I believe Blac Chyna developed what I would consider her hustle mentality and honed her self-promoting aspects while she was in this role. Whether she was a cosmetologist, I don't know, but something to do with the beauty and the beauty industry. So it is not too far-fetched to believe that being around as much glitz and glamour that sometimes comes along with being in the black hair industry. Come on now. You guys know y'all been to the Browner Brothers. so it's a lot of glitz and glamour that come along with being in the black hair industry. And I wouldn't be surprised if this introduction didn't plant a bug in her to pursue that same glitz and glamour, but to a greater degree. So let's see here. As we map this course and we take this journey along with Blac Chyna, how could she go from hair to industry? I'll tell you how. Let's enter Exhibit A. Nothing spells success in the black community better than rapper, or better yet, dating one. Come on, you know, we love us some rappers. All a guy has to do is tell you he gonna be in the studio. You like, yeah, my man's a rapper. I got it. So at least if you can't be one, you can date one. I guess that's the motto for some. And so as we look here at Blac Chyna and Tyga, I would say that the next thing would be that if you can't get them to marry them or to marry you, then the next best thing is to have a child for them. And that would somehow guarantee that you will benefit from this relationship even if you are no longer a couple. Now, I'm not trying to be funny here, but listen here, Grogu. And I want to listen, look, Grogu and my brothers out there, let this stand as a reminder, Grogu. Let this stand as a reminder to you that some women are going to come after you solely for the possibility of them being able to glean from your fame and your talent. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Say something. All right. Okay. You heard me. Okay. Good. Go back to sleep. But I believe what this did, so I want to make sure, first of all, fellas, I want to make sure now. Now, Amy don't want me to say this, but I want to make sure, because they might come after you, that you make sure you wrap it up tight. You wrap it up tight, right? But anyhow, we must admit that this relationship with Tyga was an open door that granted access to Blac Chyna that, you know what, consequently, she may have never received on her own. Now, I want you to remember that phrase, an open door, because that term will be important later in our discussion, all right? So I want you to remember that phrase, an open door. So with this new access, we then see a change, or what I would consider to be a metamorphosis in the look of the new Blac Chyna. And then I would say that long gone was Angela White. Now, many times what happens when we change our look is that our attitude also changes. And that is why I often say that if you want to change your behavior, start by changing your look. And if you want to change the way people think about you, then simply change your look, right? Now you may not be able to afford, listen, because I'm broke as a joke. So I know I can't afford any of the medical changes. I couldn't go under the knife. Maybe you can't afford to either. But the easiest way to start this journey is to simply start with your fashion. That's right. That's why this is He Spoke Fashion, because you can start there. But again, Tigger afforded her access, or Tiger, to a whole new world. But again, as we all know, this relationship did not last, and so goes the relationship. Oftentimes, there goes the access. But again, remember I said from the beginning that Blac Chyna developed what I believe a hustle mentality from the beginning. And all she needed was another open door, another open door. And who would that open door be? Enter subject number 2. You all know and love this guy, Rob Kardashian. Now, don't get me wrong. No one gets more gullible or gullible looking than this guy right here. I mean, come on. When you heard that Blac Chyna was dating Rob, what did you say? Listen, I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro Iggas. That's right. She's not messing with no bro Iggas. That's what I'm saying. But you could tell when you heard that she was dating Rob Kardashian, all you said was this was a come up, right? But anyhow, she of course repeats the same formula as she did with Tiger. AB, if you don't mind, please, could you show that formula for us? And we'll be right back after this. Yeah. So, what is the formula? The relationship starts, which equals access. Access is granted. Then, oftentimes, the pattern is that there are relationship problems, and then makeup problems, which equal baby. And then the relationship ends. This is a pattern. This is a formula. But however, at the end of this relationship, since this name was an even larger name that some would say because of the Kardashian name, larger, far larger than that of Tiger. But since this name was larger, there was some residual access left behind. And then you know what? Again, what does she do with what is left behind? Now, many of you would probably suggest that she would take advantage of the residual and use it to start a business, right? You have now, you're associated with the Kardashian brand. Or maybe, perhaps, now this would be a good one, she would pursue an education. But you know what? At that moment, you would all be wrong. If that was your recommendations, you would all be wrong. I'm just saying. But the now single mother of two determines that show business would be her path, starring with Rob on a reality TV show, Rob and Chyna, simply to be followed by her own reality show, The Real Blac Chyna. Now, I never watched that. AB, did you watch that one? No, me either. But then, listen, she was really doing well. She went on to making hits on Tubi. Now, I have to laugh at Tubi. Secret Society 1 and 2, I believe. And finally, she has a few episodes on the BT Plus original series, The Black Hamptons. Now, I'm not sure, I haven't watched that one either. Listen, if you watched that show, put it in the chat. Tell me how it was. How did you enjoy it? But listen, not only would she do show business, but she would also relent to showing her business on, that's right, you guessed it, OnlyFans, right? I don't get it. But listen, now listen, and I would suggest you not trip either, because I'm not going to trip, because for once, she is standing on her own 2 feet, or rather laying down on her, never mind. But it appears that some of you brothers, now, I know you ain't hating, right? Because some of you brothers, no, I mean a lot of you brothers were over there real dusty watching her on that medium, because she reportedly made, let's see here. Wow. Her OnlyFans ranking, right? It's alleged that she made $240 million, raking in $20 million per month for that site in 2021, making her at one point the highest earner, beating out, listen, look at that number 3 spot there, the number 3 spot. She beat out Cardi B, who earned over $108 million. Wow. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of y'all do OnlyFans, but I'm saying that's a lot of money, right? But look, was this the open door that she was looking for? A woman who appeared to have her mind on the money and her money on her mind, certainly, in my opinion, would not walk away from that type of money. Or would she? And better yet, why would she? Well, recently, on the Jason Lee show on Revolt, Blac Chyna explained, and I quote, that she was changing everything about me, and that all that stuff is a dead end, and I know that I'm worth way more than that. Now, could it be true that the real reason behind Blac Chyna's new look is a new feeling of self-worth? Now, after all the failed relationships and bad press, could she finally be choosing her own self-worth? And then, is this the motivation behind her new look? Let me hear from you. What do you think? You know what? I, for one, am hopeful that this is it. But you know, I am a man who observes patterns, right? I observe patterns. And when you look at a person's patterns, you can almost predict what they will do under similar circumstances. I believe the Bible says something like, he that is faithful in little is faithful in much. So if you trace the pattern, you can almost tell what someone will do based on their pattern. Now, first of all, I want to be clear that I am rooting for Angela White's return. However, when I trace her pattern, what I observe is someone who is always looking for an open door. Remember, I told you to remember that term, the open door. And the reason is that I believe Blac Chyna is always looking for an open door. And what I also believe is that she found, watch this, that the person that she was would not give her access or the open door that she now wants for her career. See, the person that you formerly knew as Blac Chyna could get through some doors, but it can't get through this door. Now, let me say this. Let me offer this to you. Let me suggest and recommend this to you, fellas, and even to my beautiful butterflies listening. I want to suggest to you that there are some doors that just won't open for you until you change your look. Now, sure, it is fine for you to have fun and play dress up in your youth. You know how we used to do. You know, you're going out, you wanna look for to go out with. You know, you're going to the club, you're going to a gala, whatever. You want to dress it up, right? You got that look. Sometimes a change of hair color. I love it, ladies. I love it when you change your hair colors. I love it when you change those looks and you know, a change of hair color, as you see that Blac Chyna was able to do quite often. And then even a change of a style here and there. Listen, ladies, I love it. And black men, we love it too. And then even into your mid-age, whatever that number may be. But just remember, you know, just having fun, that when you are ready to access the door that you've always dreamed about, whether that door to you is your dream career, it is the door to that wedding, or even the door to your happily ever after. Changing you, listen, changing you may be the only thing that's holding you back. Now, as we look at this transformation from Blac Chyna, removing the face fillers, dissolving the face fillers, taking us on this journey, I want to suggest to you that the real reason, I think, or the thing that's behind Blac Chyna's new look is the realization that the old look could not take her any further than where she has already been. And you know what? I, for one, am glad that she did, and I'm here for it. What about you? Nice look. Now, let's be real here for a moment. I want to ask you, do you think that people would really take her seriously, looking like the old Blac Chyna? Did you take her seriously? Do you think that having your only claim to fame is that of OnlyFans is something to be proud of when you have young children? Listen, I'm not being judgmental. If that's you, then fine. But I think that Blac Chyna, or better yet, Angela White, is showing a lot of us that it is all right to pivot, no matter how young or old that you are. So fellas, I want to tell you, listen, don't be afraid to pivot. If you, right now, in this moment, do not own a pair of dress shoes, pivot and purchase your first pair. And if you have never ever had a full suit, which is matching pants and suit coat, get it. Matching pants and suit coat, not separates. Matching pant and suit coat. Then go out. Go search online. Maybe search a secondhand place, but find you a really good suit. That suit and those shoes may give you the open door you never thought you would find. Listen, you guys, I've really enjoyed you all on tonight, and I hope that you enjoy this discussion. It was my aim to use Blac Chyna's journey to highlight a truth not only about fashion, but again, about fashion's ability to open doors. If Blac Chyna could walk away from allegedly $20 million a month to trade that door for another door, then why can't we choose to do the same? Why can't you? Well, you know what? That's all I have for you tonight. I want you to have a good night, good fashion, and remember, he spoke fashion to you. See you next time. Hope you will join us then. Say good night, Goop. Grogu. He's chilling. Yeah! In the building! Leave your questions and comments, and remember, this is He Spoke Fashion, and I really appreciate you all for watching. Please take time to follow us on Facebook, and if you really like this episode, what you think, leave your questions and comments, and remember, this is He Spoke Fashion, and I really appreciate you all for watching. Please take time to follow us on Facebook, and if you really like this episode, what you think, leave your questions and comments, and remember, this is